That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Welcome back to the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. This week is episode 6, the 1997 Royal Rumble, the Royal Rumble that Stone Cold wins. This week we'll be covering December through January to 1997. JV, how you doing?
Doing well, man. Doing well. So this is the we're getting into the first of the multiple Royal Rumbles that our boy Stone Cold goes on to win.
First of 3, the first in the trilogy.
That's the word I was looking for, trilogy.
In the trilogy.
Yeah.
So, another big exciting thing. We're coming off of a big week. We're coming off of the Survivor Series 1996 match that he had with Bret Hart. Classic match that we gave 4.5 smoking skulls, I think, last week. 4.5 smoking skulls. So, that was a great match last week. I was surprised at looking at the time that we spent on talking about the match. We went just about a half hour talking about the match. So as long as the match was itself, about 28 minutes, we talked about that match for that long. So a lot to talk about there. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode last week. Hope you definitely checked out the match. And I hope that's what you're doing all along anyway, is each week, kind of going along this journey with us, whether you prepare for it ahead of time and then listen to us, or you listen to us and then go back and watch some of the things we talked about, or even just another way that you could do it is if you're listening in your home and you have the freedom to do it, you just listen to our first segment about whatever the first match is or a clip, and then go to the network and just watch it, then shut us off for a little bit, and then go back to us and go back and forth. However you want to enjoy this experience with us here on the Bottom Line Cast. That's up to you, but there's some suggestions. So, do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, but we encourage you to, hop in your DeLorean, take a trip down memory lane, and remember the good times, the good old days of wrestling.
What we will be doing though this week is we will be forcing you to watch us or listen to us a certain way. And that is with our special edition episode that we have coming up in a few days, where we are going to watch the Royal Rumble and comment on it. And you can watch along. You can set your network to the timestamp we give you and just watch the entire match in its full length while JV and I talk shit about the entire match. So that's coming up in a couple days for you. That's a little special edition or bonus episode, as some podcasts like to say. We don't want to be like every other podcast, so why don't we just change the name bonus to special edition?
Special.
So we'll do that every once in a while. Have a special edition watch along or commentary episode, and the one coming up is our main topic for today, the Royal Rumble. So in this episode, we're mostly going to be leading up to the Royal Rumble, and then we'll briefly talk about the Royal Rumble match itself, of course. But we really want to encourage you to listen to our full detail breakdown of the Royal Rumble match in the upcoming episode watch along. That'll be dropping in about a couple days, and this will drop on Wednesday as usual. And then our special edition probably Friday.
Friday.
You
can expect it on Friday.
And then you can have your whole weekend to watch that match, and then get ready for our upcoming episode next week that we'll talk to you about later at the end of this episode. All right, so let's just dive into here. We got a few months to cover up here. We just left off at the Survivor Series, which is in November of '96. So we're going to pick up from there with the different events involving Stone Cold Steve Austin throughout the rest of November, throughout December, and then lastly up until Royal Rumble in January of 1997. So we're getting into our first new year. Happy New Year! It's going to be 1997. We started at the end of 95 into 96, so I guess I just screwed that up. Maybe it wasn't our first New Year. But actually, no, I am right. I am right with that. Because Austin didn't debut until January of 96, even though his first matches were December 95.
That's right, yeah, because the recording
They were
time.
taped.
Yeah, taped.
All right, so let's get into it now at Raw 185. This is November 18th, 1996, the night after the Survivor Series match with Bret Hart. Okay, there is no timestamp for this because all you have to do is turn that episode on. It starts off with Stone Cold, and he's going to have a match with Mankind, Mick Foley. Okay, and this is his first time with a match with Mankind, Mick Foley, and he'll go on to have numerous others that I can't wait to talk about, especially when he gets into those matches with Dude Love coming up.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, coming up, I think next year. Yeah, after he wins the championship, he has those matches. So still a while into those matches, so this is a little appetizer of sorts with Mick Foley as Mankind in this case. And he's replacing Vader. I don't really know what happened to Vader. I know he's not gone yet. But they say it was because of his injury. That he had a shoulder injury with Yokozuna. Yokozuna slammed him in the Royal Rumble match. Not in the Royal Rumble match, in the Survivor Series. What was it? Survivor Series. It was like a traditional Survivor Series match. So Yoko slammed Vader and hurt his shoulder. So he's out. And Mankind replaces him. And then we have this match that just becomes a brawl right from the start.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah, I enjoyed this match thoroughly throughout.
Same here.
Just knowing, too, like, what these two guys are and what they became, and seeing it so early on here that they had this kind of brawling match going on. And I like it because it shows that Austin can adjust just like that on the fly.
Yeah, yep.
He can do a technical match with Bret Hart the night before. And even most of that match, too, was brawling, too. I would say that match was 50-50 technical, and then the other 50 was the brawl. Where they were outside the ring a lot of times. Yep. They were out in the crowd. But either way, Austin can do both styles back and forth like that. And he does it here again with Mick Foley. So, Dave, you said you enjoyed it. What'd you like about this?
Just the chaos. Just to start it off was just like everything about the Attitude Era that we liked. Just straight chaos from the get-go. They're brawling outside. It's just a slobber knocker, as you say, in
Donnybrook.
A Donnybrook, yeah. Or is it Donnie or Dunny?
Donnie. I think it's Donnie. Yeah, Donnybrook. At least that's how it sounds when McMahon says it.
And going back and watching this stuff, I noticed how frequently he actually uses that word.
Yeah.
It wasn't
that's why I pointed it out.
Like now every time he says it, I pick up on it. Just when you go back watching these old Raws. So.
Yeah, it's like when you buy a new car and you thought, like, oh, I like this car. And then you realize, oh, I guess everybody else liked it too because now I see it everywhere.
Yep.
Once you realize something, and you just see it everywhere. Yeah. I like to point things out in the crowd when I see, going back and look at these 90s crowds. And a couple of things that popped out was, it was like a fan fest kind of atmosphere in the crowd that day. Where you had the guy that looked like Cactus Jack or Mick Foley wearing a Cactus Jack t-shirt. And you had a guy a couple rows back. He was fully like dressed in Vader clothing. He had the mask. He had a singlet on. It's like, what is up with this crowd? They were pumped and hot.
The cosplay was real.
Yeah, the cosplay. That's the word I was looking for. But you had a guy in a Ric Flair t-shirt, which is not out of the ordinary, but it was an airbrush t-shirt. So, he had to get that in the mall. He went to the mall. He stood in the booth. He had to ask for this picture of Ric Flair.
Hey, can you airbrush this on my hat? I need this on my t-shirt.
So, I mean, those are some hardcore fans at the time when we were talking about 1996.
Yeah, airbrushing. That says a lot about...
airbrush.
Malls. Malls.
Yeah,
that's
malls.
Another one.
Just like, you can just imagine going up to the guy at the airbrush booth, the picture of Ric Flair. It could have been one of those booths, though, where they had certain ones already.
Yeah, it could have been pre-made.
Yeah, but
guy showing off
Ric Flair
his arm.
96.
Yeah.
Anyway, so those are just a couple of things that I noticed in the crowd. But throughout this match, they're going back and forth, in and out of the ring. JV said moments ago this is kind of like a forerunner to the Attitude Era. This is what it's going to become. Most matches are going to end up like this as the years go on in 97, 98. You start to have these matches that are just outside the ring, and apparently there's no countouts anymore. You know, even if there is a countout rule, they don't use it. Whenever they want to use it. Same thing with the DQs. They'll use DQ when they want to use it. Other times they're just going to ignore certain things that happen in the match.
Referee has full discretion.
Yeah, and I'll get into that more. I kind of alluded to it last week, how the referees starting to annoy me. Or if it wasn't last week, it was on the episode you haven't heard yet. Because we already taped it.
Yeah, you might catch that one on the special.
Yeah, this might be on the special.
Yeah, consider that a teaser.
That a couple days ago. Which I like the idea of recording it first because we got to watch the match.
Yeah.
You know, and then just bang out an episode that way. Yeah. Rather than having to watch the match separate. Yeah. And then do this. And then if we were going to do that watch along, that worked out well.
Yeah.
But anyways. So, you don't see a lot of matches like this, is my point, at that time in 96, where you're having these outside brawls and the rules just being disregarded all the time. So it's fairly new at this time. I know there's some matches before this, like, for instance, the match that happened the night before with Bret Hart. You know, there was a lot of that kind of style brawling going on. So it's not the first time. It's definitely not the last time, because it's the beginning of the Attitude Era at this point. Now, the great match is going on. You know, but it all ends kind of shitty.
Yeah, definitely sloppy.
What did you think about the end here?
Well, I mean, the executioner shows up, so that yeah. Says a lot about it in itself. You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wow, yeah, the executioner, that guy, huh? Yeah, so he comes down and just obviously it just goes DQ from there.
Yep. Yeah, so another couple of things with Austin and Mankind, how I said at the top that this is the beginning of what begins a long feud with them over time in Mankind's different roles, mixed different roles. And it's nice to see the parallel here is where they're both coming in at the same time and they become these huge forces in the history of WWE and WWF. And having these two matches, I think, back-to-back, really shows McMahon that Stone Cold is definitely ready for the big time here.
Yeah, it definitely showed us his versatility. So
now the other thing, definitely. Well, I failed to mention this in the top where they would say what the rules are to this match, but they apparently didn't do that. But somewhere randomly within the match, they say, "Oh, this is the Tough Man match," the Tough Man match. And they were saying that leading up to a potential Austin Vader match that this was supposed to be. They were saying, oh, it's going to be a Tough Man match, Battle of the Tough Men. Who's it going to be? Who's the real Tough Man in WWF? And I just thought all along when I was hearing that it's just a match between two tough guys. But then they kept saying it like it's some real type stipulated match. It's a Tough Man match.
Yeah, I thought it was like bar talk. It was a Tough Man match. Yeah.
Right. So it's not very well explained at all. And I want to just point that out now because later, in a couple of weeks, later in this episode, another match is going to be called a Tough Man match again. But there's no stipulations to it. There's no rules. This match ends in a DQ, so how can it be a Tough Man match? Like, what is the stipulation? I guess there is no stipulation. Just who's the toughest? And that's it to it. So it ends in a DQ. Austin gets the win. Undertaker's going to come out too eventually because he has this thing going on with the Executioner and Paul Bearer and Mankind.
Yep.
And Austin. Also, one thing I do like what they do at the end there is Austin clotheslines Undertaker out of the ring. Because Austin is still a heel at this point. So if Undertaker's coming down and kind of saving him, it makes Austin look like a babyface. And it looks like he can't hold his own. So Austin being the heel is kind of like, fuck you, dude. Get the hell out of here. I don't need your help. So he still, gets to be the heel there. So it's a good little touch at the end of that match.
Yeah, great decision.
To not make Austin look like a babyface. but still getting him involved with all different potential angles.
Yeah, main eventers and
Yeah.
what Undertaker and Mankind have going on is actually a big angle on
Oh yeah.
Raw. So
On the rest of the episodes.
yep.
All right, next week. The next week is November 25th, 1996, Raw 186. And very good match going on here, JV. I know you talked about it a little earlier before we started recording. It was a Bret Hart versus Owen Hart match. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so it was a good match, not as good as their WrestleMania match. It does get kind of cut short, but the typical back and forth you expect from the Hart brothers. They really put on a good show, but then Austin ends up attacking Bret Hart, I believe it is, during the match. Yeah, because he wouldn't attack. He attacks Bret Hart during the match, and then pulls out the chairs, getting ready to do the basically what he did to Brian Pillman to Bret Hart, but then and Owen Hart's kind of with him, cheering him on, getting him ready to go, trying to get him hyped up, but then the British Bulldog runs in and just kind of saves the angle from saves Bret Hart from getting his ankle destroyed in a similar fashion in the way that Stone Cold did it to Pillman. So
yeah, the Pillmanize him.
Yeah.
Pillmanize him. I think it's Jerry Lawler saying he's gonna Pillmanize him. He's gonna Pillmanize him. And Austin's like you said, Owen's encouraging it, but now Davey Boy's coming down to save the day.
Yeah. Owen Hart with his newer haircut. He has like the croppier look.
Oh, it's cut.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's not like the sloppy, like grungy look. He kind of tightens it up.
Yeah. Know who? Actually, people would probably get this reference now, but I've been saying this reference for so many years. He looks like Johnny from Karate Kid.
Yeah, he does. He does.
That other haircut.
Yeah, he does.
So now with the reboot of the Karate Kid franchise,
Yeah.
many of you have probably seen that YouTube series and with Johnny, with Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Owen Hart. That was Owen Hart. Go back and watch the original. It's Owen Hart. I was like, oh, Owen Hart's in this? Owen Hart was in Karate Kid?
But no, I mean, it was a good match. It was just, you get the expectations set from, their Mania match and everything. And even watching it, you kind of know where it's heading. Like, it ain't going to end.
Yeah.
You're just kind of waiting for Stone Cold to show up and stuff. But, I don't know.
That's the thing with Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing with Raw. Whenever you see that there's going to be this good match, it's never going to end clean.
Yeah, exactly.
There's always going to be some angle in it that leads to the next week or leads to a pay-per-view. So while you have these two great competitors, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, well, it's not going to be the same.
And you picked up something during commentary, which I think you need to share with everybody.
The hell did I pick up commentary for this? Not the Hart
Oh,
family.
no, never mind. That was later in the show.
Okay, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, side note?
Yeah.
Thing? Oh, okay. Yeah, that has nothing to do with Austin, but I was watching Raw 186, and I just keep watching sometimes.
Yeah.
See the other stuff going on. And there's a match with, actually, I don't even know who the hell's in it, but Vince McMahon is on commentary, of course, and Triple H comes down to do commentary, too. This is happening at about the 36-minute mark. So,
I think it's Mark Merrow and Goldust, actually.
yeah,
I could be wrong.
Right.
Yeah, but
That sounds typical, though, so
Yeah.
even if it's wrong...
yeah, because I think at the end Triple H ends up running off with Marlena, like over his shoulder.
yeah.
I think.
I think so. But either way,
Yeah.
Vince McMahon says to Hunter Hearst Helmsley, obviously that projectile on your face was bothering him. Jerry Lawler says, that what? So just putting the projectile on your face. Like you just took a load or something.
And Triple H is like, show some respect,
Yeah.
right?
Then
Show
Vince
some
McMahon's
respect,
trying to-
McMahon. He
Yeah.
says.
And then Vince McMahon's trying to cover it up. Just to make it sound like more, like he wasn't talking about a cum shot. He says, no, you're proboscis. You're proboscis nonetheless. Basically saying, no, your big ass nose that you have, Hunter. So, future father-in-law, son-in-law going at it back and forth. It's like, no, that projectile on your face is bothering him. What? Your big-ass nose.
That honker.
You honker. All right. So, yeah, that's funny. But, yeah, that's the gist of that. Oh, actually, I wanted to make another point about that match, the Owen Hart and the Bret Hart match, is that this is kind of the beginning of the reformation of the Hart family coming together. Because up to this point, Bret Hart was still on his own. He had just come back. He only just had that match. And Owen and Bulldog were doing their own thing for a while. And when Hart last left, he wasn't on good terms with Owen anyway. So Davey Boy's kind of being the one at this point to get them back together. And that's going to go on over the next few months, too, where sometimes it's Owen Hart and Bulldog at it with each other, and Bret's going to come and get them back together. And so, but we're seeing the beginnings of those seeds here where the Hart family is coming together again. And they're ultimately coming together because of Austin is driving them apart.
Yep.
That leads to the big blow-off at WrestleMania 13.
Which we're on our way there.
Yeah, we're almost there.
We are on our way there.
Basically, from this point on, it's Austin going after the Harts for the next 2 months. And then even into the Royal Rumble, then after that. So it's a lot of months coming up with the Hart involved. The Harts involved. All right, so we'll go now to December. All right, we're now in December. It's December 2nd, 1996, Raw 187. And not much to talk about here other than a clip that we're going to play in a moment. But what they really do here is they do a little recap. Stone Cold had a world title match against Psycho Sid, the master and the ruler of the world.
Hey, you know what's crazy? Not crazy. It is kind of crazy. Well, I was a big fan of Sid as a kid. My brother and I, like Sid Justice, Psycho Sid, Sid Vicious. I always thought, like, he's cool, awesome. And yeah.
I love the power bomb.
Yeah.
And the way he did it, you guys got so high up because he's so tall. Well, it just always looked devastating. I like when he was Sid Justice, but the heel Sid Justice.
Yep.
And he was putting everybody on stretches and just like throwing them around, all the job guys.
Yeah.
Now, that's the real Psycho Sid right there.
He was awesome. And I heard he could hit a softball really far. And as a kid, that kind of like, I was like, oh, that's cool. This guy's awesome. He can hit a softball 500 feet. Who knows?
He should have been on those MTV Rockin' Jock softball games.
I think every wrestling fan that knew that fact thought the same thing because I did. I was like, but you should be in Rockin' Jock. Prince Fielder's kid can play.
Yeah.
Cecil Fielder's kid. Prince Fielder.
Yeah. And now Prince Fielder is gone already at this point, basically.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, he's all done.
He's not in the league anymore. He's gone.
Yeah.
But, so yeah.
That shows how old we are. That we remember when he was a kid, not even like 12 years old. Now he's already had the whole career. Alright, so they have this match, Stone Cold versus Sid. It takes place in England. Austin hits Sid with a belt. He goes for a pin, but Bulldog comes in. And we're going to have that a lot. You're gonna, like I was just saying, you're going to have a lot of matches where you have Bulldog interfering on Austin, or Owen interfering, or Austin interfering on Bret Hart matches, just constantly throughout these next few weeks. And, I mean, you'll get the gist of it as we keep going through here. It's going to be a lot of interference that's happening. All right, so Austin doesn't win the DQ because it ends up being a DQ for Sid. Because Bulldog's interference. And then eventually Austin's going to go and attack Owen Hart and Bulldog. And it's just, again, it's that Hart family's regrouping because of their hatred for Austin at this point. So we're going to get into a little audio clip now where it's going to be kind of like 15, 20 seconds from Austin, Bulldog, Owen Hart, Bret Hart, and then Sid, all about what just happened in England and how pissed off they are. So take a listen to that.
AC as well on the 15th as we pick up these comments firstly from Stone Cold.
I had Psycho Sid right where I wanted him, right in the middle of the ring. He was knocked out. Stone Cold was fixing to be the world champion. And then all of a sudden, it's chaos, man. Everybody wants to get involved in Steve Austin's action. You know what? I didn't come out here to help you, Bret. I didn't come out here to help you, Psycho Sid. I come out here because I've got my reasons. And my reasons are this: you, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Hold on,
I'm gonna
Bulldog,
put
wait
what?
a minute. Don't worry about having a problem with Stone Cold Steve Austin. We're tag team champions. You're my partner. Together we work well together. Don't worry about Stone Cold. Don't worry about Bret. That's throwing off our game plan. Focus on our title match, defending these belts. We're going to beat Razor, we're going to beat Diesel, and we're going to keep the titles because we're winners, and the rest of them, they're all losers.
That's fine. I'll see you later, Stone Cold.
Forget about Stone Cold. Worry about the belts.
You know, the way I see it, Davey boy, all I did is return the favor. And as far as Stone Cold Steve Austin goes, here's a guy that's going to rear his ugly head every time he gets a chance. And that's fine by me. Stone Cold, I'll see you down the road. But all I care about right now, all that matters to me in the whole world is December 15th. Psycho Sid, you like to think you are the man? Well, you're not the man. You may be the World Wrestling Federation champion, but come December 15th, you'll find out why they call me the excellence of execution. Big man, step in the ring with the best.
See, I really don't know what all the controversy is about, why everybody is running around sticking their nose in my business. First of all, you, Bret Hart, you come down. You, Davey boy, you come down. There's no place for you there. So what happens when you stick your nose in my business? Yeah, the champ. I am the champion of the world. That says it all. That says that I am the man. That says that I am the master and the ruler.
All right, so that was all that clip was doing was helping build up for In Your House, It's Time, the pay-per-view that was coming up that following week, in which Bret Hart was going to get his title match for beating Austin at Survivor Series. So he's got this world title championship match against Sid, and we're not going to go over that match, but it does involve Austin, so we'll talk about what happens in that match. And he also gets involved in some other things. So you have a tag team title match going on with Bulldog and Owen Hart against... Did you watch it, JV? Did you watch this?
Yeah. So the point I want to make is, I guess the best way to put Austin's time during its time is, what is it? His quote, raise hell, repeat.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a T-shirt, but it was obviously way after this. But this is like the perfect example of that. What the hell's the quote?
I can't think of it.
I should have wrote it down. It'll come to me.
So anyways, they're in a tag team match with Fake Razor, Fake Diesel in this pay-per-view. Yep. So Austin comes down after the match. So the match plays out, and they retain, the Bulldog and Owen Hart retain. Austin comes out, he gets into a brawl with British Bulldog, so you have more of that constant Bulldog-Austin feud going on here, which... I don't think it leads to a match at all. I don't think they have a match. Maybe at some point after WrestleMania 13, but during this whole build-up going on here, they don't even end up having a match with each other.
Who, Austin and Bulldog?
Yeah.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah. And one thing that I did notice about this is, based on the commentary that JR gives, he makes it seem like Owen is letting Austin get the best of Bulldog. He's not really doing anything to save Bulldog. And they get back to this again in another week or so. But they may have been thinking of going with Owen turning on Bulldog and helping out Austin. And then I guess they changed their mind and went with reforming the Hart Foundation instead.
And I kind of have to agree with you. I mean, I didn't pick up on it until, you had mentioned it previously, and I'd seen it in our, episode notes and stuff. But, rewatching it all, the Raws leading up to this, and obviously we know how it all ends. It definitely seems like they leave it open so he could go either path. They kind of
right.
Either way they wanted to go with Owen, they could.
Yep.
So.
Right, so at its time, that's the extent of really Austin's involvement. But just want to point out what happened with Bret and Sid. Shawn Michaels on commentary. Shawn Michaels gets on the apron and bumps into Bret, and then that leads to Sid giving Bret a powerbomb and defeating him. And then Bret and Shawn go at it, and looks like they're starting to build to that, because that was likely supposed to be the main event for WrestleMania. It was going to be a rematch. They had their match at 12. Now they're going to have a rematch at 13. Bret would win the Rumble. Shawn would eventually get the title off of Sid. They would go that route. But things start to go a little crazy with the world title picture over these next few weeks. And they start to seem, it seems like they don't know exactly what they want to do, so they get everybody involved.
Yep.
With all the angles. All centering with the world title. So you have Austin, you have Vader, you'll have Michaels, you have Sid, you'll even have The Undertaker. You have all these people just floating around, potentially being involved with the world title picture. So crazy time for that. Yeah. And maybe they wanted it to be that way. Maybe it's exciting to have it like that, which I guess it is. To have different people involved and not know who the heck's going to come out the champ.
Yeah, it was a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah. But they never really seemed to plan for the uncertainty in WWF. Seems like they kind of just screw up, and that's what they ended up doing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like to give them credit for being that smart, to being that creative with what they ended up doing. Because what it really comes down to is some of it doesn't make sense.
Right.
And as we get through different things, I'll point out.
Well, like the point you're making about the whole Hart Foundation reuniting, like it does look like Owen Hart's kind of setting up the Bulldog and more or less helping Stone Cold in a way. Like he's more siding with Stone Cold. So if you're watching that, you know, it looks like it's kind of odd that he ends up reforming with, because the Hart Foundation thing isn't like, I don't know, like there's a slow build to it, but Owen Hart's like I said, he's the wild card. What side is he going to pick? And I think they just kind of got, like you said, I think they just kind of got lucky.
Yeah, some things are just, they're on the fly sometimes, changing things.
Yep.
All right, so that's It's Time pay-per-view. Stone Cold didn't have a match on the main card. He had a dark match, win over Goldust at It's Time. You know, and that is a time where they don't put everybody on the pay-per-views. Austin just had a great match at Survivor Series. Take him off the next one. He has involvement all the way through November and December. He just doesn't have a match. It probably would have made sense for him to have a match with the Bulldog instead of Bulldog and Owen Hart having a match against Fake Razor and Fake Diesel.
The best part is there's like a pre-match promo, I'm pretty sure, or one of the episode earlier, and they're talking about their match, or they have to prep for their title match with Diesel and Razor, and it's like they're not Diesel and Razor.
No, I did watch that. The way that they just say it, like Bulldog's talking about, oh yeah, I'm against Diesel and Razor. Yeah. I thought the same exact thing.
Because Owen Hart's whole thing is like, gotta stay on focus with these guys, and he's all bummed about Austin.
Yeah.
So it's to your point, like they probably should have done a match Bulldog and Austin.
Right.
But whatever.
Stupid tag match.
Yeah. It works for Austin though, because he comes, you know,
they
stirs shit up in controversy, which is basically, you know, that's his thing.
They should have had Austin cost them the titles and give Fake Razor and Fake Diesel tag team titles, and then really say, "Look what we did with Fake Razor and Fake Diesel. They're the tag team champs." That would have been nice to see.
Every time I see Fake Diesel, I'm like, "Damn, that's Kane." Like they could have won with that.
Yeah,
dude's a monster.
Yeah, we talked about that. I think on the next episode coming up.
Yeah.
When we saw him in the Rumble.
Yeah.
Like, damn, he looks so good. Well, he's got those Fake Diesel clothes on. His Halloween costume.
His Halloween City costume in a plastic bag. Gloves not included.
You kind of said this before, where it looks like they're the Halloween knockoff.
Yeah.
But it's like they're the Halloween knockoff that is on the packaging. Like, you know how they get the actors?
Yeah.
Portray like Batman. It's not, it's not Ben Affleck. It's some other goof wearing a Batman costume.
And that's this is our contribution to Halloween, since it is October.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's next week.
But no, that's what I was saying. Like the plastic bags that have the costumes in them. Like, yeah, right. They look like the guy on the front. That's hilarious.
Yeah, they're portraying Diesel and Razor for Halloween City or whatever it's called. All right, so It's time pay-per-view. Now we go to Raw the next night, and he's finally going to have that tough man match. Steve Austin's going to have that tough man match against Vader finally. So Vader's back. He missed his own pay-per-view called It's Time, where he was probably supposed to have a title match or be involved in that show, but he wasn't, and they didn't want to change the name, so it's time. Well, it's not time for Vader. So Austin has another dark match. Well, actually, he had the dark match with Goldust, and he has this match now with Vader, and it starts off the show. So it's at 4 minutes and only goes till 12 minutes. The Bret Hart on commentary. So you know what's going to come down here, most likely. You have heel versus heel. And I think that's why they kind of say this is a tough man match. Just like they did with Mankind and Austin that we talked about earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's two heels against each other, so let's have them both battle it out. Well, again, like I said before, the only thing I don't like or don't understand about this match is what is this? How come there's no stipulation? I mean, shouldn't it be no DQ if it's a tough man match? And just the fact that the last one ended in a DQ, and so is this one going to end in a DQ. What I don't like about it is how you can get away with certain things, like a low blow from Austin to Vader. Referee sees it, does nothing about it. So certain things happen in the match, and they don't matter until somebody else comes down. Like, why does interference always have to lead to DQ? You know?
What if a tough man match, it's DQ, except unless somebody interferes?
Yeah.
That's the only way. That's the only way I can put these two together, and define an ending, which is stupid. That's dumb.
Right. Yeah. Dumb match. Dumb commentary.
Yeah, it's not really. It's not really a good match at all.
Yeah, and it's really only meant to get Bret Hart involved.
Yep.
So Bret Hart attacks Steve Austin at ringside. He even puts the sharpshooter on him, and that's when Austin wins by DQ.
Mm-hmm.
So he loses because Hart interferes, and Vader ends up attacking Hart, which again is like kind of what Austin did with Undertaker when Undertaker got involved in his tough man match with Mankind. Vader attacks Hart basically to say the same kind of thing. Hey, I don't need you, babyface. Get the hell out of here.
I'm a bad guy.
Yeah, I'm the bad guy. I don't care that you helped me. So then eventually Hart comes running back and he starts to beat up Austin even more. And right here, it just popped out to me. It's like, Bret Hart looks like he's the heel right now.
Yeah.
And Austin is a babyface who's been attacked, and now he's down, and Bret Hart just keeps going at him.
And that kind of aggression isn't, it's heelish, and then it's also not typical Bret Hart behavior.
Yeah, not at all.
So.
All right, so yeah, nothing really else happens at this show. And Austin's not even going to be involved in the next week either on Raw 190. So we skip ahead to the end of the year, December 30th, 1996. This is Raw 191, and there's going to be a tag team match. This is the first time that Austin has a tag team match on television. He's had some on house shows, but this is going to be the first on television. Sorry. All right, so this match, the match was supposed to be, it's like a mash of crap at first. Like, and this also starts off the show too. It's Steve Austin and Faarooq against Jesse James, Savio Vega. It's like, where the hell did this match come from? I just thought it's a strange pairing to have Austin and Faarooq. I think it's a strange pairing just to have Austin with anybody because he's supposed to be a loner character, and now he's coming out with Faarooq, and he's up against Jesse James, who hasn't really made a name for himself at all yet. Savio Vega, who's still just hanging in there.
Yeah, he's hanging on.
I mean, one of the most notable things I noticed about this match was when Austin's in the ring, he does a couple snot rockets.
Yeah, I caught that because of your note. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's funny. He's probably like, screw this match, snot rocket. And you have Jesse James come down.
Singing the whole time.
Right. He's singing with my baby tonight.
And they refer to him as Double J. It's funny.
Yeah, he's Double J.
He's Double
yep.
J. He's the new Double
The
J.
the real Double J.
Yeah.
So Austin attacks Jesse James during the singing, and I feel like Austin may have done that like ad lib on his own. Like, there's no way my character would stand listening to this guy sing a song while I wait for him in the
Yeah,
ring.
right.
So my character has to go kick the shit out of this guy.
And he does.
So I think he did take a liberty with that, and that's perfect because Steve Austin would be like, "Fuck this singing shit, let's fight already."
Mm-hmm.
What the hell are you singing for? So those are a couple of things that stand out. Bret Hart is watching the match. I always love when they show the person watching the match. You have a camera on a guy watching something that's being recorded. Just watching it back there. Then he's going to come down. Eventually comes down because Jesse James gets injured.
Mm-hmm.
And Bret Hart's going to replace him. He's going to come down in boots, and jeans. And he's not going to have he's not going to have much confrontation with Steve Austin at all. That's the only thing I didn't really like about this either. Is that you're going to have them. I guess they were sick of just Austin attacking him at ringside, Bret Hart attacking him at ringside.
Yeah.
So let's get them involved in a match, even though we don't really want them to have
And he's
much
not
contact.
he's not in the match much, Bret Hart. Like, really at all. Like,
No.
Savio Vega's kind of getting, taking a brunt of the beating. And it's the whole time him just trying to tag Bret Hart in, for the hot tag. So,
Right.
There's one thing I caught during this match which kind of pissed me off. It was like a sloppy tag exchange between Faarooq and Austin. Like, Austin came in, I think, and, like, cancels a pin attempt or something. And then Faarooq just kind of comes in and they don't tag. And Earl Hebner, who I think's the ref, doesn't even realize. He's just like, standing there. And then Steve Austin realized what happened. He's like, and then tags Faarooq. And it was just so sloppy. Like, is Hebner paying attention?
Right.
I'm pretty sure it was Earl Hebner.
I guarantee it was, because he's always not paying attention.
Yeah, and like
Seems
this,
like-
and you can notice it. It's just like a big shit show. You're like, something's not right here.
He's either not paying attention or he's in the wrong position for things that are about to happen that he's supposed to know about.
Yeah.
And it just becomes a shit show a lot of times. And I've been saying it now, I think, a couple weeks. I'll keep talking about it as it comes up because now I got my eye on him. I'm going to be pointing shit out. And I'm going to support my boy Tim White as much as I can. So now the last thing that happens here is on the list of great things that are shitty. You have Ahmed Johnson's going to show up. I don't know why, but Ahmed Johnson shows up during this match, at the end of this match, after it's a DQ, and he comes down with the 2x4, like he's Ahmed Duggan.
Ahmed Duggan.
And then he even gets a crowd to chant like Duggan does.
Yeah. You're going down.
You're going down.
Just terrible. And he's got his denim jacket on. It's like
And
denim
then
or like
jacket
or a blue denim windbreaker type jacket. And then he has, my God, like the most awful spandex pants tights you've ever seen.
Oh my God! Yeah, striped tights.
Yeah. They're like something like when you're at the gym, for people that go to the gym, and there's like the 60-year-old old lady that comes in and she's got these like spandex on, which she shouldn't be wearing anyway, but they're an old crappy color like that. That's what Ahmed Johnson's rocking.
Yeah,
They're terrible.
it kind of looked like the candy cane. I don't know what flavor it is. I think it's like cherry flavored candy canes. They have like red, purple, some white.
I don't think there's red in them. It's just like teal, black, and white, right? Like these weird triangle shapes.
I thought they were just straight up lines. Straight.
Oh no, I thought they were a little designed like triangles.
I think
like
that was
narrow
only there as a
triangle.
crotch. So, anyways, check it out. It's at the end of that match. It's only at the 12-minute mark, so just go to row 191 and get some laughs. A couple snot rockets. With my baby tonight. Yeah,
You're
Bret
going
Hart
down,
won.
Chance.
You're going down. Bret Hart.
Ahmed Duggan.
Yeah, Ahmed Duggan with a big ass 2x4. Huge 2x4.
Oh, it's massive. I don't even know if it's a 2x4. I don't know lumber. I just call anything that looks like a 2x4 a 2x4. I don't know. It could be a 4x6. I don't know.
It could be 2x4x16. Maybe.
Yeah.
I think there's 3 dimensions.
Yeah.
I did study carpentry for a week.
That exploratory. So did I. My teacher had to go to the ER. Broke his ribs.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. That's a story for another time.
Alright, so now we're into the new year. So Happy New Year again. 1997 has arrived. An excellent year in the history of WWE, WWF. And this is taking place on January 6th, 1997, Raw 192. So happy birthday to a young Mike Prue. My birthday's on January 5th. I just turned 14 here. 14 during this time now. I just like to keep track of that. So on Raw 192, you have Austin attacking Bret. Okay, going back to their traditional formula. Bret Hart's now having a match with Vader. And this one's not a tough man match because one's babyface, one's heel. Guess it has to be heel versus heel to be a tough man match.
This is a real match. Regular match.
So Austin gives Hart a stunner in the aisle. And then Vader takes him into the ring and gives him a Vader bomb. Finishes him. 1, 2, 3. So I thought that was cool to see Bret Hart take a not clean, but, 1, 2, 3 in the ring to Vader. So Bret loses to Vader. And the one thing that I did notice about this match big time was Bret Hart had some shitty-ass boots on. He didn't have his regular boots on. You can tell it was even messing up his pants and his knee pads. And they don't even look like they fit him because they weren't tied properly. And Shawn Michaels is on commentary. It's great. He makes a point to say, "Oh, nice white boots." Hart has on.
Did you look in to see if there was a story behind that at all?
I didn't.
No.
No. I looked through some. I looked through some old observers from that time period, and he didn't notice anything about it or have anybody say, "Oh, Bret Hart didn't have his boots."
Yeah.
It's simple as that. Probably Bret Hart. I did hear that he was often late and didn't show up this shit on time. Kind of just showed up whenever he wanted.
Oh, really? That's shocking.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think he'd have that reputation.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd think he'd be there working hard all the time,
Yeah.
but he would just show up in time for his stuff that he had to do.
I'm here early before everybody, out working everybody. First guy at the gym type dude.
Yeah.
Wow,
No,
way off.
apparently not.
Yeah, way off.
Because other people are supposed to be there. If the show's at 7, apparently they're supposed to be there at noonish.
Yeah.
And just start getting ready and be ready for any interview segments that they end up wanting to do. Production needs you to do something. They just want you around. And I guess he had the attitude that, I don't need to be that way anymore. I'm the champ. I'm the best there is. Best there was.
I'm the excellence of doing nothing until my match starts.
I mean, totally not fair because we don't know for sure, but
no, it's cool to talk shit though.
Yeah. So that's it for that Raw. Not a whole lot. And then on that following weekend, there's an episode of Superstars. Austin attacks Hart again. He does the Pillman thing, where he puts the chair on his ankle and stomps it. That happens. Yeah, Pillmanizing him. And then you get to the Raw, the go-home Raw. Austin attacks Bulldog while Bret's at commentary, and they end up in a little scuffle again. And they're also making Owen at this point seem like he was possibly involved with Bulldog being attacked because he was not allowing Bret to get up from the desk when Austin was attacking Bulldog. And then he only acted moments later oh, Bulldog's getting attacked. Why are you staring Bret Hart down?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were definitely leaving that door open.
Right. And they just decided to change their mind, which is totally fine. But
Which I have a theory as to why they probably changed it, and I think it just has to do with obviously the fallout with the WWF Championship after Royal Rumble. So, which we'll get into, I'm sure, in the next episode.
yeah,
So,
we'll get into all that.
yep.
So now that brings us to the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble is on January 19th, 1997. It's the 10th Royal Rumble. It's coming from the Alamo Dome, and this feels like a WrestleMania feel. You look at the crowd, if you watch that show, it's one of the largest shows that they've had in a long time, prior up to this point, because in the years of like 95, even 96 where they had, no, that wasn't a huge place, the Anaheim, the pond in Anaheim.
No,
That wasn't a big place.
no.
But through most of 96, 95, if you watch these Raws, you see they're in these little tiny venues. And to do the Alamo Dome at this point was something way different, and there was even fear that they wouldn't be able to sell it out. But they ended up doing it. I think they gave away a lot of tickets in the process, but they got the people there, and it had this huge feel. So I just have that memory of it being
Yeah,
this seemed like a big deal.
I don't know what the greatest Royal Rumble's attendance was, but I think
that's
think
huge.
this was the highest attendance count for a Royal Rumble, and still was up until recently.
Oh, well.
I'd looked that up. I don't know how accurate it was. It was Wikipedia. Take it with a
Yeah.
grain of salt, but
Definitely seems to be up there, though.
yeah, I mean that's a lot of people.
60,000 people.
Yeah, for a Royal
60,000
Rumble,
400.
like I don't.
Right.
They'd be lucky if they
think-
do 20,000, 18,000 for a Rumble. I don't even they go to the Garden. What's that hold? 17, 18,000 people
Right.
for a wrestling event. So
I think they're looking, WWE today is looking to start to do that with the Rumble.
oh really?
Yeah. I think the next one, next year, is in a big venue.
I like that. That's a good idea.
All right, so we got another clip to play for you. We're going to give you Austin's pre-Rumble promo. It's at the 1 hour, 7 minute mark if you're going to watch it, but we got it here for you now, so take a listen.
Look at the size of this mammoth crowd, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take you to pre-recorded comments now from two more participants. I'm sure you will recognize them in the Royal Rumble match.
See, this is where we got a problem. You TV guys always got the cameras where you don't belong. Well, the problem is I'm not talking to anybody until I throw 29 pieces of trash over the top rope and advance to WrestleMania to face the champ so you can take your camera and stick it, son. That's it. Cut. Cut.
So that brings us now to the Rumble match. Okay, we're not going to go into full detail with this. Okay, we'll go over the basics of it and talk about what happened, but to get a full detailed explanation, again, we have that special edition Royal Rumble match watch along coming up in 2 days, so you have some extra information from us, and no, I think it's a good hour to just sit back and get your WWE Network on, get your headphones on, and just get your volume up on your device, however you listen to us, and just sit back at some point on this weekend when you have a free hour, and just go back to Royal Rumble 97 and listen to just two fans like you that don't know shit talk about wrestling.
Yeah, come hang out with us.
Yeah.
Essentially what that is. So
Yeah. All right, so we got Crush and Ahmed Johnson starting the match.
AKA Jonathan Davis and Ahmed Duggan.
Ahmed Duggan. And who? What was Crush?
The lead singer from Korn.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Ahmed, You're Going Down Johnson.
yeah.
And Ahmed Duggan. All right, so they started off, and when we were watching it, it was funny because it ended up seeming just going back to Crush and Ahmed early on. The first few people in the ring. It's like, oh my god, this is a horrible match.
Yeah, right.
It was just basically a Crush and Ahmed Johnson match for a few minutes. But then finally, you have Austin enters at number 5.
Yep.
And there was no countdown when Austin came out. There was no countdown for the first few people, I think. They just strolled out, which I hate because that's one of my favorite parts of the Royal Rumble is the anticipation, seeing the buzzer, seeing the countdown, and then hearing the buzzer. I remember having parties with my cousins and such, watch these matches at the time, and we just go nuts in the house counting down. 10, 9, and then we do the buzzer. You know, that's the fun part of it. And then they didn't even do it.
And as a kid, it was a great reason to yell and celebrate.
Exactly.
But they're coming down to the ring. I gotta yell for the countdown. Shut the fuck up! Quit screaming in there. Yeah.
It's the Royal Rumble, Mom.
Yeah.
Once a year. So they're having some clock issues apparently, and they eventually get it fixed, and then the buzzers are on like normal. But for the guy that's gonna win the whole damn thing, they don't even come out. Any fanfare.
You're like, why is he here? Is it his time yet?
He's ready now. Yeah. And he came down with his shitty vest on.
Yeah, the throwback vest. Well, not a throwback, but his.
Well, yeah, the vest he was using. Yeah. The first vest he used.
Yeah. Should have thrown it away vest.
Back in July.
Yeah.
And he had gotten better vests since then. And then he goes back to wearing this one.
Yeah, generic. It's like, dude, did you pack?
Yeah, must have been a case of like Bret Hart or didn't bring his right shit.
Because you had the skulls and everything by this point. The skull was like a thing. Skulls.
Yep.
So
skull was on his vest.
Then he's got this, back to like the Dallas Cowboys Lone Star.
Yeah, his old Stunning vest. Steve Austin too. He had the star. Even as the ringmaster, he had the star on his boots. So maybe he did it intentionally. I'm here in Texas. I'm wearing the star.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably what it was. That's
Maybe.
A good point. I'd bet on it.
Yeah, that's got to be. All right, now I don't feel as bad about him doing that. So, also I noticed in the crowd you get the Austin 316 shirts everywhere for the first time. And this is at I think it's an awkward stage where people are getting wrestling shirts, but they're not even wearing them a lot of times yet. Because I don't know if they just had their shirts on already, and they're like, "Well, I just bought this shirt, so I'm not going to put this one on." And they just hold up their shirts. They just waving their new Austin 316 shirts around instead of putting them on.
Yeah, screw that. I'm going to drop $25-$30 for a wrestling shirt I'm wearing at a wrestling event.
Right.
Period.
If I'm on
putting that thing on.
If I had the pay-per-view, I'm going to wear the damn thing, too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think this is when the shirts first came out. I couldn't find it. I looked it up everywhere. I was like, when was the exact release of these shirts? And I couldn't find anything about it because they were out for so long at different times throughout 96, 97. Just from watching, this is probably when they came out because we haven't noticed from watching all of Austin's appearances these Austin 316 shirts yet. So it makes sense that the major pay-per-view would be the debut time for it to come out, especially with him. Or with them knowing he's going to win the Rumble and then go on to WrestleMania, which ends up changing. We'll get to that. Just interesting. And also it helps with pointing out to people that thought Austin 316 was this major just breakout thing right away. Like we talked about in the King of the Ring episode, where there's this myth that the night after King of the Ring, Austin 316 was blown up all around. And there was signs and everything. It wasn't. And the shirts weren't even out for 6 months later. Goes to show how big it really was at first. It wasn't. We'll eventually have Savio Vega making his reappearance, getting involved with Austin.
Wouldn't it be an episode without another Savio Vega reference?
Yeah, you gotta keep the Vega saga going on.
Probably the coolest name so far for an episode.
Yeah. And all the other ones have just been like Austin related. That one fit in Vega saga.
Like, damn, we're the fan club.
Yeah.
Los Baricos.
So Austin eliminates Vega rather quickly, and then things don't really start to heat up until Bret Hart comes into the match. Up until that point, Austin is just really tossing everybody, and he's having plenty of time to just sit around and go on the top turnbuckle, look at his fake watch.
Yeah, that's great.
Those classic Austin gifs or gifs. What are they? Gifs?
I always call them gifs.
GIFs. Right, yeah. It's got to be GIFs. Yeah. Not GIFs. GIFs with a J, like the peanut butter.
GIFs. I don't like it. I don't even like saying it. I don't like hearing it.
Yeah, GIF.
That word needs to get retired. Unless it's Jiffy. There's no GIF. The GIF. Right. Just like a meme. It's a meme. Not a meme. Not a meme. Not a meme. It's a meme.
Right. If you say the word gift like a present, gift.
Yeah.
The T. GIF. No T.
If you say GIF and meme on anything but meme, I don't want you listening to this podcast anymore. I don't want you listening to our episodes. We don't need your kind of people here spreading that kind of hate.
Or you could just have learned your lesson.
Yeah.
I'll take you back in.
yeah. Hop back on the wagon.
Yeah.
We ain't left yet.
Have you learned? Okay, you're one of us now. Although I didn't really know how to say it, though. So I was saying GIF with GIF, and that's how we got into this. Anyway, back to Bret Hart. Bret Hart comes in, and it's just Hart and Austin in the ring. I love when that happens in a Royal Rumble match, where it's just two people, and you know they have history, and you know there's a big feud between them, and they're just in the match. You know there's 2 minutes where they're going to have battle. And they go at it, and then all the guys start to come in and fill up the ring again, of course. But it comes down to final 5 wrestlers. You got Austin, Bret Hart, Undertaker, Vader, and lastly, how can you not have Fake Diesel? Glenn Jacobs, which is his first appearance. And Kane will go on, Glenn Jacobs will go on to have, I believe, it's the most appearances by any wrestler in a Royal Rumble match, with 19 appearances.
All right, so I know he has a lot of eliminations.
Yeah.
Did he have any eliminations as Fake Diesel? Do those count?
I don't know.
I forget if he tosses anyone out.
He may have been in as Isaac Yankem too.
Yeah.
To think of it. So I think they all count for the wrestler though.
It's like part of their contract. All right, you're over 6'6". All right, we're gonna bill you at 7 feet, and you got to be in the Royal Rumble.
You have to.
It's in the fine print.
I think whoever it is that tracks it, probably WWE, but I think they give it to him, even if it was Isaac Yankem or Fake Diesel. Because even with Steve Austin, they credit his ringmaster ones. But he was called the ringmaster Steve Austin.
Yep.
Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, Fake Diesel ones should be struck from the record.
Yeah. Those go to Kevin Nash, as a matter of fact.
Especially because Austin is behind him in the lead for eliminations.
Yeah.
He's right down there. You have those final 5 guys in, and then you have Austin eliminated by Bret Hart. And you had Mankind and Terry Funk in the match at that time. They're battling outside. They're just going at it. And Austin is thrown out, but then he slides right back in. And you had a couple guys working on the outside. You had Vader and Undertaker working side of the ring. Austin comes in, sneaks up behind them, dumps them out. Bret Hart had just eliminated Fake Diesel. And then Austin comes up from behind and tosses Bret Hart. And there you have Austin, the winner of the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
So now he has a title shot as of right now. Next week we'll talk about how that all changes. And you probably know, of course, if you're listening, but we'll get to it next week. And Bret Hart is pissed off, as usual. Bret Hart is getting screwed. And I love how they continuously use that phrase. Screwed. Screwed. I'm getting screwed by this guy. I'm being screwed by that guy.
Yeah.
You know, and then ultimately, almost a year later, it's the screw job.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
I can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're not going to get too much into it because it's not Austin. It's not Austin, though.
Yeah, but well, maybe we got us. Oh, yeah, it's not. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Michaels and Hart, so.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll come up because it'll be around that time frame. But we'll see. We'll see where we're at. Maybe we could do a special edition.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was waiting for you to say it. Yeah. A special edition, another watch along.
Yeah. Just watch that. I mean, everybody's seen it to death probably, but I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
We're not on the record yet. So anyways, I think this is progressing to the Montreal Screwjob. Like I've said this a couple times before, and I definitely say it again on the special edition Royal Rumble match episode, is that this seems like it's just building up to that. Hart being pissed at McMahon, and maybe I don't know. Oh, I don't want to get too crazy in conspiracy Mike about it, and tinfoil hat Mike about it, but it just seems like it's going in that direction where, could have been a work. Okay, and it may have been the greatest work in the history of wrestling. It's the last time they're actually trying to protect the business.
Yep.
And if anybody was on board for that, that would be Bret Hart. Bret Hart would
Hell yeah.
want to do that.
Yep.
Like, yeah, my contract's coming up. We are going to part our ways, but let's just do this one last thing and pull one over everybody. Who knows? Anyways, Bret Hart is going at McMahon at this point, all the way months before, and saying, I'm getting screwed. And he says, fuck this shit. And I would imagine this would be a work at this point. And that is just trying to, they're just trying to work some angle where Bret Hart is sick of being screwed. Because they've been going in that direction for a while. So who knows? Anyway, let's move on to our one last topic that I wanted to go into was some facts about Austin in the Royal Rumble. And I know we have more to come, more to cover, but, it's a ways away. So I just want to talk about some of the different records that he has in Royal Rumble history, being that it's his first one that he wins. He was in the Royal Rumble last year that we covered very briefly, the little bit of time he was in that match. He screwed up his finish and fell out of the ring. And now he's coming back here and he's actually winning the entire thing by being thrown out and coming back in, which he should have done back in 96 as the ringmaster. But he didn't. So Austin is going to be known for getting a shit ton of eliminations. He's tied with the most eliminations for a while. So at the time of this Royal Rumble, he ties the record that Hulk Hogan created. And that was 10 eliminations in one match. And that's what he had here at 97. And then it would later be broken by Kane in 2001. Roman Reigns would break it 2012. And I guess right now would be a good point to maybe hear. We just got some breaking news while we were recording. Not that we want to go too current, but heart goes out to Roman Reigns despite with all the hatred people have for him.
Yep.
He's a solid performer. I don't think anybody can deny that. And it's unfortunate for what he has to go through in the months to come.
Yeah, I mean, this is real life what we're dealing with now at this point. So my heart also goes out to Reigns and his family, and good luck with the battle. I hope for a full recovery, and he's back in the ring a lot sooner than later.
Yep. And then Strowman goes on to break that Reigns record of 12 with 13.
Yep.
During this Royal Rumble match, Austin lasts 45 minutes, which is not close to any record, but
still a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time in the match. Came in at number 5 and won there in 45 minutes, and he goes on to win 3. He's the most. He has the most Rumble wins in history: 97, 98, and then 01. So 3 in 5 years. He has the 4th most eliminations in history, 36, but he got 36 eliminations in only 6 appearances. Whereas the other leaders, I think, who's the leader? Kane?
Kane.
Yeah, Kane has 44 eliminations to Austin's 36. Austin was only in the Royal Rumble match 6 times. Kane has been in it 19 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So Austin's right up there. He has a better average of eliminations in a match. So if that was a stat, I mean, anything could be a stat. So yeah, he has the most average. He has the most average eliminations per appearance. That's a record. So those are just a few little factoids about Royal Rumble and Steve Austin. And as we go through the 98 Rumble, we'll talk about that and any additional personal best in that particular match. And then again in 01. We'll get to those when we talk about it. All right, so that's going to wrap up our January and December. But before I do, let's go over his matches real quickly. Just give you a little run-through of his matches on the house shows throughout December and January. I'm not going to do all January. I'm just going to do up to the Royal Rumble. And I did December last episode. So let's just start with the beginning of December. December 1st, they're in Dubai, and he has a Battle Royal. He's involved in a Battle Royal that Bret Hart wins. December 2nd, in Dubai also, they do a Middle East Cup tournament. Middle East Cup. And Bret Hart wins that also by defeating Austin in the finals. To get there, Austin defeated Owen Hart and The Undertaker by DQ. Then you have the Raw, the Vader match on December 16th. December 17th, he did a match with Jason Arndt again on Superstars, and then he challenged them all. Get another partner, and I'll do a handicap match against you. And he does do that, and he goes up against this guy, Eddie Jackson and Jason Arndt, who becomes Joey Abs. And Austin gets pinned because British Bulldog interferes.
Oh, wow.
And that was just after its time, so they could have had that match, Bulldog and Austin. I don't know what they were thinking, why they just decided not to go with it. They had those constant interferences going on, so make no sense. Then you have December 26th, day after Christmas, Austin and Vader tag up against Michaels and Hart. Austin and Michaels and Hart end up battling each other after the match because they lose. And Austin, they can antagonize them, and then they get into a little battle. Same thing happened on 12/27 on the house show. On the house shows, they always do the same thing over and over again. I'm sure you're aware of that. And then again on the 28th in Providence, you had Michaels pin Austin because Bret Hart interferes. And then again in Hartford on the 29th, Michaels pins Austin. The 30th, Michaels pins Austin. So a lot of repetition there. But he's starting to have matches against top players on the house show at that point. Whereas before it was just Savio Vega and Aldo Montoya nonstop. Those early months. So now into January, he's continuing his matches with Michaels on January 3rd and the 4th. On the 5th, he actually pins Michaels this time. On the 6th, he pins Michaels again. And then now on the 11th, 12th, and the 13th, Sid pins Austin. And then that brings us to episode of Shotgun Saturday Night on January 18th. And that's where Austin defeats Goldust. And then finally now, January 19th was the Royal Rumble. We'll stop there and pick back up on the next episode. Okay, our next episode is going to be focused on In Your House, the Final Four. So we'll get into the build-up of that, why it's called the Final Four, what leads to this match. Any final thoughts on the Royal Rumble, JV?
No, I just encourage our listeners to listen to the special edition episode that'll be dropping on Friday. Put your headphones on, listen along, and take a trip down memory lane with us. It's gonna be a lot of laughs, so check it out.
We are the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, and we thank you for listening.